Hello there, Qckslvrslash, and today I have a video, well, not the intended one I wanted to share, a very good one indeed. I'd actually recorded a different one alongside Savea that focused on how we communicate as division mates to really maximize the effectiveness of being in a division, because it is a huge advantage having someone you can work alongside with and coordinate fire with to gain a mild advantage, particularly over those players playing singularly. And in random battles, it's pretty rare to see an entire team just start working together spontaneously. It does happen, but not that much. In this one, we're on Sea of Fortune domination mode. I'm playing alongside Flying Goomba. You can see I'm in the Henri IV. Goomba's in the Des Moines. These ships actually work really well together, and it pretty much comes down to their ability to start fires. The Des Moines has that great rate of fire, and the Henri can be a bit of a beast, especially when you just use some of those French characteristics. That high speed allows you to get to positions that you might not be able to get to otherwise. Doing, almost 43 knots here, I'm going to be way out on the flank long before any enemy ships can really get there. That's going to put me in an advantageous position to get some shots and get some crossfire going. So one of the quickest ways to work a ship down is to have shells coming from more than one angle. When it's only coming from one spot, you can pretty much go bow in, which minimizes your side-to-side profile, so you tend to eat a little less damage, but also the armor is just more effective that way. But with me sitting out on a flank, I'm going to be able to do some work to some targets that are forced to basically sit pointing south to deal with our battleships, which means they can't do a lot about my shells, and it's going to let some of mine hit a little harder. Now, obviously I've got HE loaded. It's one of the things the French do well. They're just great ships to just slowly work and harass things down. And when I am sitting out on a flank, I typically work with HE. Unless I really get someone side on, if I'm kiting, you're at those kind of ranges where you're not having huge chances to get great citadels. Now you can see I keep switching to my torpedoes there, and it's just to get that lead marker to see what a ship is doing. There I go, getting my first fire. So the obvious thing we're talking about in our division right now is who's damage controlled. Goomba right away said, I'm just going to use HE2. I'm going to try to force some damage controls, and between the two of us, we can probably get a lot of damage going on a ship. And at this point, we've got 2 fires going on this Montana any second now, really expecting those to get put out. And you can see pretty much our entire team here has decided to focus him. He puts the fires out, get a volley in the air, probably going to get one more before he disappears. No luck there, but some big hits from my teammates, and one more volley before he disappears behind the mountain. Thankfully, this one's going to do a little better than the first, lighting 2 fires, 5,000 damage there. And you can just see that tick in the top corner as I switch targets. That North Carolina eating a broadside, and it's kind of at this point, looking at where our team is, Goomba and I decide we've got to push. You can see the enemy team, for some reason they haven't taken A, but they've taken the entire side of A, and they're really pushing around this way. We've got to get in behind them and try to push the point, force them to roll out in front of this big cluster of ships we've got going on, because most of our fleet is all sitting in a very small area. So I say, I'm going for it. Goomba agrees, he's there with me, and we're going to work this North Carolina. And initially our goal here is really twofold. 1, to get up to the north, and 2, find this Lo Yang. I was asking for the radar. Goomba gave it to me, and the Lo Yang runs himself aground, probably in a bit of a panic as he realized he's caught. Now, a little bit worried. There could be torpedoes coming my way. And unfortunately, I do not have hydroacoustic on this. Just worry, and with more carriers than I've ever really seen around right now, I've been running the anti-aircraft suite. And I think the presence of carriers is good. I've missed them. A lot of people just walked away from them, other than the couple really good captains. Whereas with some of those changes, I think people are willing to try them out again. Now, you can see this North Carolina doing everything it can to run. Getting a little bold here. Definitely the possibility that we're kind of sitting side on. You can see I do have priority targets, so I know how many ships are aiming at me. And for me, this really is all about two things. It's a bit of early game intel. Not so much in this, but in like ranked or clan battles, just seeing how many people are aiming at you can give you a bit of an idea of how many people think they have shots, therefore maybe how many are in proximity. But it's more, how long can I be cheeky for? How long can I sit there broadside on to keep all the guns in? Because someone's got to aim at me to put shots at me. And until I see a number there, it's pretty safe for me, for the most part, to kind of just sit broadside on. Now with that North Carolina having disappeared, the two of us are working this Tirpitz down. And I wouldn't want to be him right now. He may be a battleship, but he's got 2 tier 10 cruisers with some decent rate of fire just working his butt to the bottom of the ocean. Goomba, obviously the quicker firing of the two of us with that Des Moines, but my guns can hit pretty hard, even firing HE. Now, at this kind of range, AP definitely could be an option, and you see me swap over to it. You get one shot at that North Carolina, he gets spotted, eager to get rid of him. You can see Goomba firing the AP as well. His shells do the damage, but my fire tick gets the kill. And still kind of at 10 kilometers, I'm willing to work AP. It can hit hard when you actually hit. I aimed a little far back and just get my rudder over in time. Most of those doing very little damage. And right here, what I'm aiming for is superstructure. I'm not trying to hit the hull. I'm not going for citadels. You're not really going to get a ton of damage that way. At least with how I've found the penetration to be on these shells. So I'm going for superstructure. I'm just going for consistent penetrations and damage, and you can see almost 8,000 out of that volley. Sure, it's not a citadel, but that's enough to make a ship worry. Now, I was forced to turn away, probably anticipating that I threw some torpedoes his way. So I'm back to HE. Shooting at the stern of a ship or the bow, not really the best way to get penetrations in. So, time to start for some fires. Eat a big set of damage there, I think from the Monarch, but unfortunately, I've got to respect the ship closest to me. The Iowa may only have one gun pointing my direction, but if I give him my side, that's a huge chunk of damage I'm more than likely eating. I pick up Witherer, and we're just running this guy off the map. Both of us pretty much sitting bow in, charging him down, working him down, eager to finish another ship off, and we've done pretty well so far. I'm up to 140,000 damage, 1 kill. Goomba at this point I think was about 130,000, 2 kills. We pretty much finished this game even on damage, and I think Goomba ends up mopping up more of the kills, and overall just proves that when you do work as a group, you can really eliminate some targets. And what's working for us here is there are 2 of us. Anytime Goomba started getting focused, he'd just slow up, let me become the focus, make those guns shift around. Anytime I was the focus, Goomba kind of forced the point, and he became, you know, the target of opportunity for the enemy ships. Now, when I turned away back there, it was to run from the Monarch, and it's put me a little far out of position here, and these shells are looking dangerous. Caught broadside on, I eat a chunk of damage, but nothing too bad. I'll be able to repair most of it. And we're just working on the next target. You can see our team really did run through them. And this one's not too far from being over. And I'm sure at this point the North Carolina is looking what happened to the Montana and the Iowa. 2 ships later in the line than him, just going, this sucks. He's doing the right thing. He's put himself into a running fight, which means we're always sailing into his shells if we're trying to pursue him. Unfortunately for him, between the pair of us, and just the amount of, damage per second we can put out there, it wasn't long for the world. Our next target's going to be the Monarch. You can see Goomba's up to 3 kills now. I'm sitting at 2, just shy of 160,000 damage. And this is, I think, my second or third game in the Henri. I am really liking this ship. The St. Louis, she was rough for me, and I think it was just kind of going from the Martel, really found how to play that ship, stepping up to basically the same ship, a little bit bigger at tier 9, really hurt, whereas the Henri, to me, just feels like a big improvement. And you're always going to be top tier, and that alone, it's a nice feeling. You don't have ships bigger than you bullying you. You are the bully. And right now, that's all our team has become. There's a Monarch and a Shimakaze, and our team is just pressing down on them. You can see I take a lob shot at the Shima. Maybe I'll connect. Unfortunately, before my shells have a chance to do it, someone else kills them, so Monarch it is. And I feel bad for this ship. These British BBs can repair a lot of damage, but they need time, and he's got none of that. Pretty much our whole team firing at him at the same time. There he goes, and there is the match. And this was a great game for the pair of us. I walked away with 431,000 credits, 6,500 experience almost, a Wither, just shy of 160,000 damage, and a pair of kills. Goomba doing pretty much the same. If I recall, I think he said he had 165,000 damage and those 3 kills. But more important than anything else, it is a video that I've shared on my channel where Goomba does not spontaneously explode. It was starting to become a running trend with him, so for him to finish atop the team is definitely a change of pace that I'm sure he welcomes. He is a good player. It's part of the reason I play with him, but he can be trusted to do things. Like if you ask him to do something for you that is pretty much suicide for him, but will save your ass, he'll do it. Because if he thinks it's good for the team, he'll make that play even if it's not good for his own stats. And playing with someone like that is always welcome. What I found odd is I only damaged 5 different ships over this battle. Normally when you're kiting, you're getting shots at a ton of different things, but because we kind of just ran down a couple battleships, we had 2 very big hit point totals to just focus down. Walked away with 275,000 credits, that big chunk of XP. Admittedly, I'm running some flags and stuff, so that definitely helped, and I have the premium camo. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel, and as always, I'm Qckslvrslash, and I'll have another one for you all later.